Hi, this is Larry London. We welcome you once again to Border Crossings. And Matt Simons is a singer and a songwriter, and he joins us today from a hotel room in some point unknown around the world. And he's here today to talk about his brand new album, Identity Crisis. So we welcome you, Matt Simons. It's nice to have you on the Voice of America.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Now, first of all, let me establish where you are. You're in a hotel room.
That's true.
Well, let's figure it out where.
In Nashville, Tennessee.
Music City. All right. Well, that's a great place. Right. Is that where you're from originally, or where did you grow up?
I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I moved to New York for about 15 years, and now I'm back in California in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm. And it's always been music? That's been your passion from the beginning?
It's always been music since I was a wee lad.
But it was classical music when you started, and actually opera.
I did some classical piano growing up. And I have classical music in my family. I had a couple grandparents that are opera singers. Mm-hmm. But, actually I focused on jazz music. That was what I did for many years. And dabbling in pop as well. And then when I graduated from college, I decided to do pop full time.
Mm-hmm. So, pop music, what would have been your influences as far as pop goes? Because it's an interesting transition or progression from your early days in an opera world to jazz to now pop. So what is it that drew you into pop?
I've always had a love for it, even though when you're studying jazz, pop is kind of a bad word. It's sort of like seen as a lesser form of music, which I don't believe is true. But from a young age, I was always way into the Beatles, way into Michael Jackson, way into all that old Motown stuff, Stevie Wonder and Marvin Gaye, Otis Redding. So I've had a love for that style of music for a long time.
Mm-mm. So you become one of the cool kids, I guess. You went from playing the clarinet to actually rocking out with a guitar.
Well, you're saying the clarinet isn't cool?
Well, not in the pop sense. I don't know that Justin Bieber's got a lot of clarinets behind him.
That sounds like his problem.
Matt Simons is our guest, and he's in Nashville and originally from San Francisco. So Identity Crisis. This is a very personal album for you.
Yeah, definitely. So Identity Crisis in a couple of different ways. You mentioned the history of going from classical to jazz to pop music, folk music, soul music. Whenever I get asked in interviews to describe my music, you get that question a lot. Like, describe it in 3 words. I like to say it's an identity crisis. I'm still trying to figure out who I am, but taking from all these different styles. And I think this record shows that range of the, just the things the influences that I have in the music that I love. Mm-hmm. And the second way is, I've struggled a lot in the last probably 10 to 15 years with, anxiety and panic attacks, and being a performer. It's been really tough. You get on stage and you start having that feeling like something's going to go wrong. And it's not really something that was talked about before. And I feel like it's becoming a part of the conversation now. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the songs on this album are about that.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And more so, because everybody that I'm talking to lately in the last couple of years, as you say, starting to reveal a side of themselves that otherwise years ago it was taboo. You would never talk about your own struggles. You could sing about it from a third person sense, but now people are actually using the platform in a very positive way to tell other people that it's okay to have some struggles and some issues, and I do, and here's how I got out of those.
Yeah, turns out a lot of people were hiding something. But yeah, I think it's important to, it just, helps people feel less alone in that struggle. Mm-hmm. Knowing that's okay to talk about.
And you're peeling away the layers, of onion, so to speak, for yourself. And I find it interesting that someone, and you're not the only one, like I say, many, Camila Cabello, Shawn Mendes, a lot of artists have talked about, even Beyonce, about their issues going on stage, and they, Beyonce has an alter ego to cope with the pressures of going out on stage in front of people. It's an interesting career choice to be somebody who struggles with anxiety, under pressure and stress and whatnot, and then put yourself in that position night after night after night.
What were we thinking as performers? Yeah, I guess, part of it is the because there is that darkness, that is what makes you want to express it and put it out into the world and share it. So
Mhm.
sort of you have one with the other.
Mhm.
And it just, yeah, I guess it's not that surprising that there are so many performers, maybe a higher percentage even than the general population, that struggle with these sort of things, because that's just
Right.
what comes along with the career.
Mhm. And music is therapeutic to begin with. I mean, it's a way of expressing things that, that otherwise you couldn't. You do it through music.
Absolutely. I mean, therapeutic, and yes, truly physically therapeutic. Your vagus nerve, which helps control some of your anxiety, and you can sort of exercise that by singing physically. So it's truly a therapeutic thing for me. I find that I have a lot. If I have done a lot of singing, then I feel better afterwards.
Mm-hmm. So how is it? I mean, give advice to an audience member who might be tuned in, because we're in different parts of the world. We're broadcasting to millions in 100 different countries.
Wow.
And in many of those countries, most of those countries, mental health issues are still kind of swept under the carpet. People don't really have the help at their disposal. We struggle with the help here that we need, but certainly in other countries where, it's kind of not something that's readily discussed. What would you say has helped you get through some of those challenges, some of those dark moments, so that, people can learn from somebody who's experiencing it and yet turn this around into a successful path for you?
Yeah, hopefully there's someone in your life, that you can find to talk about it with. I think that's probably the most important thing, is to just might not be every weekend, might not be able to talk about it with everyone if there's still that stigma about it, but there's got to be somebody that, you could talk about, and, breathing, meditation, all that good stuff. And then if you're lucky enough to be able to get it, like, medication can really help.
Right.
It shouldn't be stigmatized, and it shouldn't be, it can really help people. So I feel like it gets a bad rap.
Yeah. I have a son with autism and ADHD and anxiety disorder. So yeah, medicine has helped us get through some difficult times that otherwise we wouldn't be able to. So I admire people like yourself who aren't afraid to talk openly about some things going on in their lives. So Identity Crisis is kind of a reflection of some of the challenges. And from what I understand, some of the songs on the album are being streamed so well. I mean, you've got 50 million streams on one of the songs that you put out recently.
Yeah, a couple of the songs have really reached people. There's a song called Better Tomorrow, which I wrote specifically about panic attacks, and the sort of the mantra that I like to repeat to myself, that you'll feel better tomorrow. And I've gotten a lot of messages from people saying that that's something that they connect with a lot.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of connection, we're going to ask if you'd sing a song right now for our audience. We've got, a couple songs. We got you here for a while. I know you're going to perform. So what are you going to do for us first?
I'd love to do a song, an older one of mine. It's called Open Up. That's about open communication between people. I'd love to do the new single, which is called In Case You Missed It. And I'd like to do my biggest song, which is called Catch and Release.
Okay, so the first one's called Open Up. That's what we're going to hear? Yeah. All right, we're going to check it out right now. Matt Simons is going to perform Open Up right here for us. Let's enjoy this here on Border Crossings.
You're hard to talk to with that wall around you. Don't look at me that way. What can I do to build that bridge to find you? I don't know what to say. Come on and open up, my love. Why don't you tell me what's really on your mind? Come on and open up, my love. Tell me what you need so we don't have this fight. Come on and open up, my love. I know it's a front you've been hiding behind. Come on and open up, my love. Why don't you tell me what's really on your mind? I know you want to do that thing you always do. You get in your head. When that door stays shut, puts this space between us. You make it hard to guess. Come on and open up my love. Why don't you tell me what's really on your mind? Come on and open up my love. Tell me what you need so we don't have this fight. Come on and open up my love. I know it's a front you've been hiding behind. Come on and open up my love. Why don't you tell me what's really on your mind? I don't believe the last thing that I said's the real reason you're so upset. Come on and open up my love. Why don't you tell me what's really on your mind? Come on and open up my love. Tell me what you need so we don't have this fight. Come on and open up my love. I know it's a front you've been hiding behind. Come on and open up my love. Why don't you tell me what's really on your mind? And open up. And open up. Yeah, open up. Come on and open up. And open up.
Border Crossings, Matt Simons, and the song is called Open Up. And you say that's from a few years ago.
Yeah.
Tell me about where you were at when you wrote that song. What was going on?
I wrote that one, I think it must have been about 2017. And it was within the writer's room with two really wonderful writers named Scott Harris and Emily Warren. And we were just talking about that moment in a relationship where you know that there's something wrong with your person, but they won't tell you what it is. And also I've been on both sides of that. So it can be hard to, it's like, hey, come on, like, tell me what's wrong. Like give it up. I know there's something.
No,
so writing about that moment, but also in a loving way, not like to avoid the fight.
Right. Now, I find it interesting, and you will be the first to admit, for whatever reason, and I want to find out the reason, you have been very well received in Europe, more so than here in the United States, at least initially. The people in Europe tend to have embraced your sound, your style, your message. You've been number one in the Netherlands and other places throughout Europe. You've performed in these places. So what is it that you think makes the connection a little easier for Matt Simons outside of the U.S., outside of your own backyard?
I asked myself that same question and I couldn't tell you. There's something about, I don't know if it's something about the lyrics that I write, but it really seems to connect with a European audience. It started out in the Netherlands. I had a song called With You many years ago that was featured on a Dutch television show, like primetime Dutch TV. And before that, I had never had anything really going on in my music career other than playing bars and weddings around New York. So it started in the Netherlands. I had a couple years of playing exclusively in the Netherlands. And then I had a song called Catch and Release that sort of made it to the rest of Europe and kind of around a little bit more around the world. So those stepping stones, never really made it to America. Maybe if I had a more opportunity over here, it could have connected in the same way, but I don't know. I'm very grateful for whatever audience I can have. So
oh yes, and success today is measured in so many different ways than it used to be, because now you have streams and you can reach people all around the world through streams, through virtual platforms, I mean, and certainly here, the COVID pandemic has also created a platform for the virtual world because you couldn't go out and perform. So if people wanted to connect, the only way they could do it would be to find you on the web.
It's pretty cool the way that in the last 10 years, we'd just be able to reach a worldwide audience with something you made in a basement somewhere. That just did not exist for so many years. There were so many different gatekeepers to the music industry. And now there are no gatekeepers. The other side of that is now everybody can make music. So the competition is pretty fierce.
Right.
But if you can break through that, it's really rewarding to connect with all over the world. I get messages from people everywhere, and it's pretty cool.
Well, hopefully we're picking up some new fans for you today. And Matt Simons is our guest. Now, one of the things that I hear from artists like yourself who have performed internationally is that they've observed that people do pay attention to the song lyrics, to the words much more carefully because maybe perhaps it's not their first language. English is their second language. So they really, really pay attention to those words. Would you agree that that's one of the differences?
I definitely, you also get messages like, hey, can you explain this lyric? And I'm like, no, not really. I have to think about it myself for a second. Like, hold on, give me a minute. So they'll call you out on it too. They'll say like, explain this to me, which is, it's fun to have my own self-reflective moment with the lyrics when people are kind of poking around and asking about them.
And it's got to feel great when they know the words to your songs, but they can barely speak English. That has to be kind of rewarding. It's
pretty cool. I remember the first time I was playing in a city in the Netherlands called The Hague, and for the first time there was a sold out room, and I could stop singing, and the audience could sing the words back to me, and I'll never forget that moment. And whenever it happens to this day, I'll never take it for granted. It's a dream come true. Yeah, those are the moments that you carry for your entire career. Totally. The experiences, the first times and things like that. We've got Matt Simons on the show, and Identity Crisis is the name of the new album. Would you do another song for us? Absolutely. Yeah, this is the new single that just came out a few weeks ago, and it's called In Case You Missed It. Mm-hmm. All right. Matt Simons, In Case You Missed It, here on Border Crossings.
So, I don't really know what the game is. I don't even know how to play it. You're taking your time getting back. Oh, I thought we left that back in high school. The way you got me waiting here for you. Ain't nobody got time for that. You don't need to lie to me, let it be known. If your social anxiety's having a go, yeah, whatever it is, you can always let me know. 'Cause I don't wanna be somebody you miss. I don't wanna be somebody you wish you had another chance to change the ending. I can't wait around if we're pretending. I don't wanna keep some promise you broke. I don't wanna be somebody that you used to know. I said it once, I'll say it once again. In case you missed it. In case you missed it. I'll say it once again. In case you missed it. I'm doing all I can to be patient, but I don't really know how to fake it. Why you playing with my head? I feel like what we have is a good thing, but it's harder to remember the feeling when you're leaving me on red. But most of the time I do better alone, but when we're together I feel like I'm home. Yeah, I gotta believe that you feel it, let me know. 'Cause I don't wanna be somebody you miss. I don't wanna be somebody you wish you had another chance to change the ending. I can't wait around if we're pretending. I don't wanna keep some promise you broke. I don't wanna be somebody that you used to know. I said it once, I'll say it once again. In case you missed it. In case you missed it. I'll say it once again. In case you missed it. Border Crossings, he's Matt Simons, and that song is In Case You Missed It. It's brand new from Identity Crisis. It's the new single.
which just came out not too long ago. And so what was the story of that song? Where did you write it? What inspired you to write that song?
This is one of the few songs that I actually wrote during pandemic. And I wrote it with my friend Chris, who you saw playing guitar with me, and the two of us wrote it. And we were, I've been with my wife for about 10 years. We've been married for 3. I'm trying to call back to that time in a relationship where it's early days and you're texting back and forth and trying to find the balance between how much you communicate and how much you should kind of pull back. You don't want to seem over eager, but you also don't want to seem uninterested, and just that kind of dance that gets played. And if you're not getting the responses you're looking for, be like, hey, come on, we're trying to make this work, right? Get back to me about it. So that's what the song's about.
Now, if I were to be talking to your wife right now, what would she say has been the secret to keeping the marriage work? Because, most people struggle in a marriage that doesn't have other challenges like anxiety. So if she's got a musician husband who suffers from a situation that he puts himself in every night, how does she cope with that situation? What does she tell you that works for her?
She's super supportive of everything that I do, and it's also hard to be away so much. That's the other part of especially in the early days, I would be gone almost half the year. But there's also something about absence makes the heart grow fonder, that you don't spend every waking moment together, and you actually get a chance to miss each other. Then when you come back,
right,
the connection can be even deeper. And it's with my mental health struggles and stuff, she's just super open and lets me do my thing. And
that's great. That's wonderful.
When I need it, but also if I need space, that's okay too.
Do you have kids?
We just had our first baby.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you, baby boy, about 8 months ago.
Wow, that's great. Not getting much sleep then, huh? When you are home.
You know what? He's actually an amazing sleeper. He started sleeping through the night when he was 7 weeks old, which is unheard of. So we got pretty lucky. If we have another one, I'm sure there'll be a nightmare. So
knowing what you now know about music, are you going to encourage your son to pursue music when he gets older?
I think I'm going to encourage him to do whatever he is passionate about. I think that's the best gift that you can give to your child, is letting them find their own way, helping, you can help guide them a little bit. And, but if they can find something that they love, kind of no matter what it is, then, I could be supportive as a father, and my wife as his mom too. As the way that my parents were supportive of me when I chose music.
So being a songwriter, has becoming a father changed anything about what you do or how you do it? Or has he influenced any music that you've written recently?
I do. There's one song on the album that's called "Always Have My Love." That's about, I wrote it right before he was born. So it was, the lyrics, "Can't wait to meet you." And just talking about how, no matter what happens, that he'll always have my support and my love.
Matt Simons is talking with us today. Are you going out on tour for the new album?
I'm actually out on tour right now. The album comes out on May 6th, and I'll be in Europe opening for 2 cellos in arenas all over Europe, and we'll have some albums there for sale. So I'll be promoting it, and yeah, pretty fun.
So 2 cellos. How do you connect your music, your pop genre, with 2 cellos?
It's interesting. You should ask. It doesn't sound like it should work, but it's been working really well. We've been doing a bunch of shows in America, and what they're doing is they're doing a lot of really fun pop covers on cello, instrumental covers, and it's not a totally classical music crowd, because that might not be the best fit. But the crowd so far have been really open and receptive, and they get there early for my opening set, and I get a lot of great feedback at the end of the show. So it's been really a great return to playing shows after these 2 years.
And this is an international tour or just a U.S. tour?
Yeah, international. So we did started out in Chicago, came all the way down the East Coast. Now Nashville, playing tonight and heading out to the West Coast, and then starting Eastern Europe in May, and all the way up to ending in Wembley in London.
Whoa, Wembley, that's 80,000 seats. That's
the arena at Wembley, which is like 15,000. There's multiple Wembleys. 80,000.
Oh, there's several Wembleys. But I mean, on that particular note, which does Matt Simons like the most? Because you said the coffee houses and birthday parties, and now you're playing 15,000, 20,000, maybe even more for festivals. I mean, do you have a preference which size venue you like to play in?
I mean, it's pretty fun playing for like 20,000 people. I'm not going to lie. But there is something about those intimate performances, just a few hundred people, that is really special. And it's difficult to recreate on that large scale.
How about your goals as far as collaborations go? Who do you want to work with down the road?
I've been having fun working with different European artists. I've done a couple of songs with French artists where we'll take maybe one of my songs and translate half of it into French, and I'll sing a little bit in French.
Wow.
I just did a song where we took the song In Case You Missed It and we turned it half Dutch. So I work with this wonderful Dutch artist named Tabita. And even at the end, I sing a few lines in Dutch. And it's been fun collaborating with these artists from other countries that, because they sing in their native language, we wouldn't really know about them.
Right. That's interesting because, I mean, in the French realm, you could work with David Guetta, and in the Dutch realm, you could work with Kygo. I mean, they're both producing singers and albums. So,
absolutely, yeah, that would be hooking up with one of those big DJs would be really fun too.
Matt Simons is our guest. Identity Crisis is the name of the new album. Would you do another song for us?
Sure, I'd love to. I'd love to do the song that kind of put me on the map in the rest of Europe. There's a remix of it, but we'll do the acoustic version. The song is Catch and Release.
Catch and Release. Matt Simons on Border Crossings.
There's a place I go to when no one knows me. It's not lonely, it's a necessary thing. It's a place I made up, find out what I'm made of. The nights I stayed up, counting stars and fighting sleep. Let it wash over me, ready to lose my feet. You take me off to the place where one reveals life's mystery. Steady on down the line, lose every sense of time. You take it all in and wake up that small part of me. Day to day I'm blind to see and find how far to go. Everybody got their reason, everybody got their way. We're just catching and releasing what builds up throughout the day. It gets into your body and it flows right through your blood. We can tell each other secrets and remember how to love. Da-da-dum, da-dum, dum-dum. Da-dum, dum-dum. Da-dum-dum. Da-da-dum, da-dum, dum-dum. Da-dum, dum-dum. Da-dum-dum. There's a place I'm going, no one knows me. If I breathe real slowly, I let it out and let it in. It can be terrifying to be slowly dying, also clarifying where we end, where we begin. So let it wash over me, I'm ready to lose my feet. You take me off to the place where one reveals life's mystery. Steady on down the line, lose every sense of time. You take it all in and wake up that small part of me. Day to day I'm blind to see and find how far to go. Everybody got their reason, everybody got their way. We're just catching and releasing what builds up throughout the day. Gets into your body, it flows right through your blood. We can tell each other secrets and remember how to love. Da da dum da dum dum dum. Da dum dum dum. Da dum dum. Da da dum da dum dum dum. Da dum dum dum. Da dum dum. Everybody got their reason. Everybody got their way. We're just catching and releasing what builds up throughout the day. It gets into your body. It flows right through your blood. We can tell each other secrets and remember how to love.
Border Crossings, Matt Simons, Catch and Release. I'm sure you know that song, 50 million plus streams and growing every day. And so did you ever imagine there'd be something like 50 million anything associated with your name?
I mean, when I first started out, no, those numbers seem crazy. I just a couple of days ago passed 1 billion streams on Spotify, which was a number that doesn't even seem real. So pretty exciting. You know, I'm thrilled that I've been able to connect with so many different people around the world.
And all you're asking is for $1 for each of those streams. That's it, just one. You don't need. You're not being greedy. Just one.
Just $1 per stream. Come on, is that so?
$1 per stream. Instant billionaire overnight. Matt Simons has been our guest, and so where can people find your album and more information about you? What are your social media sites? Where does Matt Simons hang out?
You know, my favorite is like a true millennial is Instagram. It just feels like it makes the most sense. I have been making some TikToks while on the road to where I've got a social media helper that's helping me out, and I'm making TikToks. I feel significantly too old to be doing it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I got Facebook. I got it all, but definitely on Apple Music, Spotify. We'll be selling CDs on the website somewhere.
And what is the website address?
MattSimonsMusic.com.
MattSimonsMusic.com. Somebody must already have Matt Simons then. You had that.
You know what? There's like some real estate agent. He doesn't even use it anymore. He has MattSimons.com, and I can't get it. I don't know.
Buy a house from him. Maybe he'll give it to you.
Yeah, maybe if he's listening. Listen, Matt Simons, let's make a deal.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the troops who tune in or the worldwide audience? Because we are a global broadcast network, and you do go globally around the world, and you're known around the world. So this is your chance to say hi to all your fans internationally, and also the troops who are listening.
Sure. I just want to say, hey, thank you so much for your service to our country, and I hope I can play somewhere. I'd love to do a bass. I've done that in the past, and to do that again would be really awesome. So cheers y'all. Hope to see you soon.
All right. Well, Matt Simons has been our guest today. MattSimonsMusic.com is his website. And the new album, as he mentioned, is available wherever you can buy music these days. Identity Crisis is the name of the new album. Thank you so much, Matt, for being our guest today.
Sure. Thanks so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Your music sounds great. We look forward to seeing you again in the future. The next time you tour through DC, don't be a stranger. Come by and see us in the studios downtown.
Absolutely. Would love to.
Hopefully we're past this COVID stuff by then.
I think we'll have figured it out.
Matt Simons is our guest. My name is Larry London, and you're watching Border Crossings on VOA TV.